Welcome to a live video flicks and swizzle stick show. I'm Nikki, and this is.
Oh, this is Cheri, the rep. Hi, how you doing?
There she is. And today we'll be talking about some classic films that neither of us had seen up to this point and should probably be embarrassed for, but we're not. We don't really care about that kind of stuff.
Nope.
But today, the plan was to continue with our theme of the greatest movies we've never seen, and we were like pilfering movies from like AFI's greatest 100 movies, which kind of screwed us because it made us watch Citizen Kane. But aside from that, squawk. But aside from that, it has a lot of excellent movies on it. But me and Cheri were both incredibly lazy and not really feeling like spending any money, so we basically only picked ones that were available streaming on Netflix.
That's right. We did see a whole bunch of movies that we wanted to watch, but spending rental fees was really not in the plan for us.
We were like, not this month. We don't feel like it. So we don't really have the greatest movies we've never seen, but we have some classic movies that we've never seen. So just, do whatever. We're going to be talking about Valley of the Dolls, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, and Taxi Driver. And I can't believe I had never seen Taxi Driver. I can believe I haven't seen Valley of the Dolls and The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, even though my dad is, kind of obsessed with John Wayne. But it just seems silly I haven't seen it. But if you guys recall, the last show was with Amy Dawson-Robertson, and we talked about dystopian films, 1984, Children of Men, Soylent Green, and District 9. So thank you all for listening and commenting. And the winner of a free movie from that podcast is Blue.
Yay!
Congratulations, Blue. Be sure to let us know what movie you want, whether it be Blu-ray or DVD, and we shall send it on to you.
Yes.
By the magic interwebs.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, and thank you for. She's so great. She supports our show fantastically, and we appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Today, you can enter to win by commenting during the show with a little Q&A, etc. If there's anyone listening, if there is,
we have one viewer right now.
What?
Hi, Pixie. I know it's you.
I knew it's you, Pixie. But you can enter to win by commenting during the show, saying basically anything, disagreeing with us, telling us our hair looks amazing, which it does.
Amazing.
Yeah, or you can also comment later for people who can't watch the live feed, which we understand, it's fine. You can comment on the website like normal, and you can talk about some of the classics that you enjoy, if you wish, or you can say how amazing we are. You can say that anytime you want.
You don't need to make a special,
Yes,
there's no occasion for that. Just do.
Yes, and then we'll announce that on the next podcast. So that won't be for another month. But on that one, Georgia and Melissa are coming back and joining me, which it's been forever since they've been on here. Mm-hmm. So this is going to be great.
And Georgia will be, I'm going to do a plug for Cocktail Hour. Okay. Georgia's our next guest on Cocktail Hour to talk about her new book.
Which is an excellent book. It's adorable.
I haven't read it yet.
Well, I have. You'll like it.
Fine.
So anyway, that podcast will be called To the City with Love, and we're going to be talking about movies whose location kind of act as an integral part of the film, and that'll be Frances Ha, Dangerous Beauty, and Mystic Pizza, which are three of my favorite movies, ever. So I'm really glad that those were chosen.
I tried
watching for that. Yeah.
I tried watching Frances Ha, and I got about 15 minutes into it, maybe 20, and I was like, this isn't catching my attention. It was just,
my God.
I found it kind of boring. I'll try again.
I love it.
All right.
I love it. Yes, and also I'm considering, I don't know, Cheri, what you think about this, but I'm considering doing semi-regular video roundups for movies that are out right now since I got that Movie Pass situation.
I'm a big fan.
I'm a big fan of the Movie Pass, and if you guys haven't, they're not paying us to say this or anything, but it's awesome. You pay like $30 a month, and you get to see one movie every 24 hours in a month. So you can see in the theater, which is expensive.
You don't have to stand in the lobby.
No, and just be like, oh, I wish I would see that movie. So it's really nice because then you get to see the blockbusters that are all exciting, but you also get to see those independent movies that really deserve money, and you can make Movie Pass pay for them. Score. So I'll probably start doing that somewhat soon and talking about what movies you should go out and see.
I think that's
But
a fabulous idea.
do you like the idea?
Very much.
Yes. I mean, Kate has a Mac, so I can probably figure out how to do some type of iMovie situation.
Yes.
Drinks today. I have a terrible sore throat, so I am drinking tea with honey in it. Cheri, what are you enjoying?
A delicious O'Doul's Amber. We're a non-alcoholic show again.
Non-alcoholic. Go us. Look at us being nice to our livers.
Yay.
You know who's not nice to the livers? Anybody in the movie Valley of the Dolls.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that what we're going to start with?
We might as well, because that's the first of my notes.
Okay. That was the first one that we both watched that one. I think we both watched it on the same day.
Yes, exactly. But that's from 1967, based on the novel, a movie adaptation from Jacqueline Suzanne's book, The Valley of the Dolls, about her experience as an actress from the late 30s to 1950s, which I've never read the book. Cheri, have you read the book?
I have not.
Oh, well, we're both losers like that. But it's basically about three women who all end up in New York City, and they're all following their dreams, and they all basically end up trashed on prescription drugs and booze. Kind of.
Well, not all
well,
of
not
them.
Anne. Annie doesn't. And they all use it kind of at some point. At some point she does.
She did at that, yeah, okay.
Yeah. But I mean, she was basically the most normal one. I think she was basically like the person that you're kind of following, almost like the narrator.
Yeah.
While she's like talking about her crazy friends.
The thing that drove me insane about her was the way that she would never actually look at Very dramatic.
Very dramatic. Well, the problem is that nobody really was a good at acting in this movie.
No, they were all terrible.
They were all terrible actors. Which is why
Duke was the best.
She was the best, and she was ridiculous.
She was terrible. Oh my god. The best line of the entire movie is when she's blasted walking down the
alley?
The blue area, and she's like, boobies, boobies, boobies. I'm like, yay!
Oh my god. And she's screaming her own name. Billy O'Hara!
She was terrible. Oh my god. You know, one of the things about the movie that kind of surprised me was how homophobic it was.
They said faggots a lot.
Faggot. He's a faggot. He's
just a faggot. And I was like, whoa. And it wasn't really much until like about halfway through. Then I was like, okay. Whoa.
Didn't expect that.
Hello. Oh, and apparently it's DK Linda watching and not Pixie.
Yes, I know.
Sorry,
DK.
We just assume it's always Pixie.
We figured if it had to be Pixie if she was awake. So DK says, I'm pretty sure, but no, it's me, not Pixie. Wanted to stop by and say hey to you guys. And I also can't believe you guys haven't seen Taxi Driver. I guess better late than never. By the way, yes, I'm talking. You talking to me? You talking to me? You must be talking to me because I'm the only one here.
And I do love A&W cream soda.
I know. I love cream soda. Yum.
Yummers. I always choose that over root beer, in case anyone's curious.
I do too.
Interesting.
I do too.
That's why we're friends.
If you like root beer better, that'd be it.
Out. All this other shit is just circumstantial. But yeah, Ann Wells comes from like some town, Lawrenceville, somewhere, Connecticut maybe? I don't remember. Somewhere.
Kansas, wasn't it? Oh no, I just think it's Kansas because of Lawrence, Kansas.
It's not.
Oh, Maine or
somewhere colder,
cold place.
Colder than New York, because every time she went there it was like snowing. But she's like basically the most normal person in it. Neely O'Hara is like this young, talented actress, and she has kind of an All About Eve kind of thing going on with the Helen Lawson lady. She's trying to take over her career, basically. And at the beginning, you're like, oh, that's too bad. She doesn't have a chance.
She's so sweet. I love her.
So sweet. Oh. And then about like 30 minutes later, you're like, what a bitch.
She is a raging bitch. I just
She's
wanted
a
everyone to
horrible
punch her.
person. I know.
Yes.
I wanted to punch her so bad, and she treated her husband like shit.
Big shit. Max,
Yes.
go get me a drink, or whatever his name
Go
was.
get me my dolls. I feel like she's
My
do that. Go get me my dolls.
I had no idea what that meant. I didn't know what that would. My dolls. I need my dolls. I just need a doll.
Just give me my dolls. I just need one doll.
I had no idea. And
No.
then Sharon Tate, who played this
Yes.
stupid but beautiful woman with a horrible mother, who is from
Horrible
Milwaukee,
mother.
which
Yes,
I was very
thanks.
unhappy
Milwaukee
about.
shout out.
Woo!
Yeah, but it's
City
funny
moms!
because like all these women are based on like real on real actresses that the author knew and interacted with. Like Neely, she was based on Liza Minnelli, and then
Really?
yes, and Judy Garland was originally going to be playing her, I believe, but it didn't. Or no, Liza Minnelli. Yeah, no, wait, sorry, Judy Garland. Neely O'Hara. Sorry, I have a cold and I'm on medicine, but.
You
Neely
got your
O'Hara was
dolls.
based on Judy Garland, and Judy Garland was originally going to play Helen Lawson in the movie.
Oh, now that makes more sense.
Yeah, but then she was too popped up on drugs and was late all the time, so they fired her, which is kind of funny.
That is pretty funny.
It's pretty funny.
She had her dolls.
Yeah, she was too busy popping dolls, and then she just didn't show up.
The whole the scene where Neely snatches Helen's wig off and throws it down the toilet during the that was
Helen Lawson was pretty normal. Like, she was the only one that was like, no, I don't want to take these dolls.
Yeah, she was like she said, I'm a professional. There's the difference.
She really
You know?
was.
And she looked much better with gray hair.
I
have to
know. Whenever
say.
she took off her wig, I thought she looked amazing.
You know, like you look totally unnatural with that wig on now.
I
It's
know.
terrible.
I'm just like, people, stop dyeing your hair. It looks amazing white. God damn it. But anyway, Georgia will probably give me crap for that. But like, so she was, and like Sharon Tate was based off of some other actress whose name, Carol Landis, who was an ambitious blonde with little talent, which is kind of interesting because Sharon Tate also did not have very good talent.
No,
But we should not speak ill of the brutally murdered
brutally murdered.
of the brutally murdered. But still,
yeah.
she was not good.
It was
But I mean,
terrible.
She was really bad. But I mean, I felt very sympathetic towards her. And
Toward that character.
towards that character.
Yeah.
Well, her also.
She was
murdering.
I felt the worst for her. I
Definitely.
wanted her to succeed, and that she had to succeed through porno.
Yeah.
Made me really sad, but
It did, but I mean, because like she everything that she did for her husband, her family, because like she really did love her husband, and he was so sick, and he had that weird disease that I don't remember what it's called.
oh, and his sister.
Oh, first off, I thought that they were like
did, yeah.
Lannistering. If anyone watches Game of Thrones, you'll understand that reference.
And if you don't, if you're old enough for to have known the V.C. Andrews books,
Mhm.
Flowers in the Attic,
That along
loving
those
siblings.
lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that they were, a bit close for a brother and sister. But then I was surprised. I was like, oh, I thought it was his wife, and then he was going and having an affair with Sharon Tate's person. But
No, because they
Turns out
said
it's
right
sister.
away that was his sister.
I know.
When he did that first, the act.
Yeah.
And all the singing and dancing in the movie. Just like,
There was a
really?
lot, and they did like full songs. It wasn't just like a snippet here and there. It was almost like a musical in parts of it,
Yeah.
which made it better. That was the best acting there.
Yeah.
And Tony Polar, who was, her husband in the film, and I guess that the author of the book said she actually based it sort of on, what's his name, Dean Martin, because when
Really?
she was interviewing him once, because she used to interview people, and he wasn't paying attention to her because he was reading a comic book. So she found him kind of kind of dumb. Isn't that sad? I know. So there's that.
I guess it would depend on which comic book, you know.
I know. I mean, if it was something deep.
Or Jughead. I mean.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I don't want to judge.
Too badly.
I mean, more than we're already judging, obviously.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Okay.
Go.
So when Anne gets to town, she announces to her family, "I'm going to New York. I'm going to find my career." Had no idea what that career was supposed to be at this point, and so she goes to interview to be a secretary in a legal office that does entertainment law. Mm-hmm. And she goes in to see the hiring manager, and the first thing he says is, "We can't hire her. She's too pretty. She's too pretty. Somebody's going to marry her and we'll be screwed."
And you're like, what?
Oh, hold on. Let me do my...
Right. This is exactly how it actually was.
Yeah. Let me do my Anne impression.
It reminds me of what's his name? It's kind of the opposite of is it NCIS? Like Miami or something with David Caruso, where he starts every sentence looking away, and then he ends the sentence looking at you. So he always starts it like, "Well, it looks like we're going to have to go downtown." But every single sentence he does that. That's what that reminded me of.
That's awesome.
I know. You're welcome.
I noticed it more. She did it more after, so she eventually gets discovered to be this hairspray girl.
Yeah. Hey, you're cute.
You've got great hair.
Yeah.
We're looking for someone, I don't know, just like your secretary here.
Hey, that's my secretary, and she hasn't got knocked up yet.
And then the boss goes,
now.
"Well, I guess that's fine. Just make sure you hire me to look at the paperwork."
Yeah, okay.
Well, I guess you were right. She really was too pretty.
I know, I told you. She's either going to get hitched or she's going to go off and get a job.
Yeah, and then she ended up she slept with that dude like on the first date. What a dick he turned out to be.
Oh, total dick.
Asshole.
Oh my God. I know, and they made him look like he was a really nice guy. Like, oh, this is a good guy.
Some horses just don't ride so well with the double harness.
Like,
which was his explanation on why he never wanted to get married.
Yes.
Oh.
And you're like, oh, okay. That's an awful analogy on every level.
Yeah, and then when she decides that she does want to sexually blackmail him because when they go home because her mom dies, and she's like, "Well, I guess at this point I'm not going to sleep with you anymore because you don't want to get married." So he says, "Okay, well, I'll go check into the hotel." Next thing you know, there's a letter. "You've really made me think about things. I'm going to England."
You're like, I could either marry you or move across the continents away from you.
That's fantastic.
Now it's like, you go, boy. Follow your dream and write a book probably about her. Yeah.
And then he comes that's what I was going to say. When he comes back and he's in the club, whatever club restaurant thing, that's when I noticed Anne starting to do the...
Yes, more.
Because
she's matured. When you're mature, you don't have to look at people.
Yeah, she was
people
a star.
Look at you.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But I mean, as with a lot of movies from the 1960s, I feel like this movie could have edited down at least 45 minutes to an hour and
then
not
if you
lost
took
anything.
if you took out all of the bad acting, you could have had a trailer.
5 minutes. It would be like 2 songs, done. It would be like Helen Lawson with amazing white hair, and then a song, and then it would be done. Credits.
And then
all credits.
And then Patty Duke yelling, "Boobies, boobies, boobies!"
Neely O'Hara. But I mean, I guess to find like the good in it, I mean, it's an impressive story just because. I mean, before that, I don't think people weren't really openly talking about, like, the seedy underbelly of the industry and how volatile and dangerous it could be.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I mean, you see them at the start, and they're like young, and they're impressionable, and they're excited, and they're ready to start their careers, and then you just kind of watch them devolve into drug and alcohol addiction and porn.
Yeah, and when Neely's in the sanitarium, whatever, when
Yeah.
she's in the nut house,
When she's in the nut house,
when she gets out, I really felt like, oh,
she
she's gonna be okay.
She really felt a lot better after that.
Yeah, and then 5 minutes later, she's a raging bitch
Again.
But
and
worse.
She steals her best friend's guy.
I know, and
he's still a dick.
Blatant about.
Shocker.
Oh, I'm sorry, he can't come to the phone right now. He's in the shower.
He's in the shower.
Bitch. She's the only one
because
that's...
my vagina made him disgusting. He had to go in the shower. Are you kidding me right now? But actually, like, one of my favorite parts of the movie was whenever Tony was in the sanitarium with her, and like, it was like completely... He's like, basically at this point, he doesn't have any memory. He doesn't recognize anybody. And then she starts singing that song, and then they have this moment where he's like singing with her, and he does have a lovely voice.
He does, yes. And Patty Duke
they sang
belt
really
him
well
out
together.
Yeah, but okay. So, in a nutshell, I really did not like this movie at all.
No, I did not like it at all. I was like, it's still on.
I know. Well, it got a lot better for me. I started watching it by myself, and then it got a lot better for me after TJ got out of the bathtub and came to bed, and we watched it in bed, and then just made fun of it.
Yes.
and just ripped the shit out of it. Then it was more fun.
Yes.
But yeah, this was a terrible movie.
It was a terrible movie, and actually it's named one of the 50 worst sound films ever made in a book by Harry Medved and Randy Dreyfuss.
Awesome.
It was from like the 1970s when he made this book, and they still put out this list of like the worst movies ever. And when it first came out, one of the critics in the New York Times said, "All a fairly respectful admirer of movies can do is laugh at it and turn away." But I mean, it was still one of like the biggest earners for 20th Century Fox that year in 1968.
But I mean, it's like what you said too. It really did show a side of Hollywood that probably really hadn't been seen before, and I'm sure that it rang true for a lot of people. And it was, you got a lot of side boob.
Lots of side boob. So there's that. You're welcome.
Yeah.
And you get to watch Sharon Tate be suggestive in borderline porn.
Yeah.
French art films.
Yeah. That was
French,
great.
We'll be talking about more French art films later in one of the other movies.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because it had some art films in it.
Yes, it did.
But we should save that one for last, I think.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. But we should probably move on to, because that movie was terrible, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance from 1962, where a senator who became famous for killing a notorious outlaw returns for the funeral of an old friend and tells the truth about his deed, starring John Wayne, Jimmy Stewart, and Vera Mills. Now, at the beginning of this movie, it's a John Ford movie, so if anyone's familiar with John Ford, basically, who did like 8 million approximately movies with John Wayne. But when it first started, I was like, oh god, I don't think I'm gonna like this movie, because it was like nobody was saying anything, nobody was talking about anything. They were just all having meaningful glances and like emotion. They were all having emotion, but they weren't talking about anything. Oh, the cactus flowers.
No, he
and I was like,
never
never built the room. Oh, but look at that cactus flower, Marshall.
You knew where I wanted to go.
Yeah, it was all extremely emotional. And the former Marshall who's driving her around, basically, her name's Hallie, but who's driving her around, he is the most obnoxious person.
Oh, what are you talking about, Mickey?
Like, he had the most whiny voice I've ever heard in my life.
You want me to handle it?
I don't know about this. What am I supposed to do? It was like a parody of a bad character.
Ooh, you're having steaks? I love steak!
I certainly love some steak. right. And every time he talked, I just wanted to hide under a blanket. But I promise it does get better. Okay, I promise, because I actually really like this movie. I like John Ford movies anyway. The Quiet Man is one of my all-time favorite movies of all time.
Never seen it.
Like, oh my God, Cheri. Okay, well, we will be doing the show and we will be watching The Quiet Man because that is my family's shit. My family, actually, the two sides of my family, have had an argument that has been going on for at least as long as I've been alive as to whether McClintock or The Quiet Man is the best John Wayne movie ever made.
I can pretty much say I don't really think I've ever seen any John Wayne movies through
Oh my!
Which is terrible because my mom and my grandfather both are huge John Wayne fans. I mean, I'm sure that I've seen some of them when I was a little kid, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
But I like this one.
I mean, John Wayne is not a very good actor.
I don't know what you're talking about, Pilgrim.
Pilgrim? This is the first movie he ever said Pilgrim in.
Is it? Because he said it all the time.
And he stuck with it. He was like, now I like this word Pilgrim.
Did he say it in other films? I wasn't sure if it was just
in
this
later
one.
films.
Okay.
Yeah, but this is the first time he ever called someone Pilgrim.
And there was also, I think what shocked me is when, what was the guy's name? Lee, the guy who played Liberty Valance. Lee.
Oh, I forget his name too, but I know. Yeah.
He's really famous, and he did other stuff.
A shit ton of movies. He was in The Quiet Man. He played one of the pastors in The Quiet Man. If that helps anyone.
But he said "dude" a couple of times. Why don't you get up, dude? And I was like, what?
Dude, which is code for City Slicker.
Oh, okay. Did you look that up?
No, I already knew that.
Oh.
You didn't watch Hey Dude? Come on.
No, I did not.
Well, I did.
No. I have not.
That's right. You're older than I am.
Whatever.
So you wouldn't have watched Hey Dude. But anyway, John Wayne plays Tom Donovan, and he's the guy who died that everybody's coming back to go see. And the newspaper guys are like, we have a right to know who this Tom Donovan is. And
Lee Marvin. Sorry. Excuse me.
Lee Marvin, yes. And number one, I hate it. My number one pet peeve of anyone is when people say, I have a right to, and then fill in that space with anything. That's my biggest pet peeve. I'm entitled to know about this.
Oh, I know. That bothered me too. No, you don't. Shut up.
You don't have a shit all right. But then,
you're the publisher of the newspaper. Screw you.
But I mean now, but at least that gave us a vehicle to learn the true story of what happened with the man who shot Liberty Valance. And Liberty Valance is a horrible, horrible person.
He's terrible.
Terrible. He's a bully. He just tries to murder everybody, basically, beat everybody up, steal all their shit.
His whip was something.
Oh man, he had a whip that had like a steel knob on it, so that it, makes you broken and whipped at the same time.
He's a multitasker.
He's a multitasker. But Tom Donovan saves Jimmy Stewart because he's left for dead in the middle of the desert somewhere. So Tom Donovan saves him, and he's a really honorable guy. He's a real rough and tumble kind of guy, but he's very honorable. And he's the only one that really stands up to this Liberty Valance guy. And he's in love with Hallie, who helps Jimmy Stewart's character, Ransom Stoddard, get kind of welcome to the community. And like Rance, he wants there to be law and order. He wants the state to evolve into a proper democratic place where you can't just get shot walking down the street, which is admirable. But then there's Tom Donovan who like, no, you can't. That won't work here. We're in the West. You gotta talk with your guns.
You gotta get a gun.
You gotta get a gun. And the whole time, everybody's like, you gotta get a gun. You got a gun yet? You should get a gun. Which is kind of sad. Because you want it to end with, like, no, law and order will win. But
it didn't.
It didn't.
No.
It really didn't. But, whatever. Should we not give away who
Well, I think it was really obvious who did, and it's like 50 years old. I
Okay,
think it's
good.
okay.
I just didn't want to like ruin it for people because like the entire movie, it's building up to being. It's obvious that Tom is going to save Ransom Stoddard by killing this Liberty Valance guy.
Yeah. And you already said at the very beginning he's the one who really shot him. Did
I say that?
Oh, maybe not, but I just did.
I don't think I did. She just did. Thanks, Cheri. But yeah, I mean, this movie's really old, so
it's not suspenseful, really. I mean, you know who did it. You're just not sure where he was standing until later.
But I mean, like, I was still surprised. Because I was like, oh no, that looked like he actually did it. I was like, maybe he does actually kill Liberty Valance.
No, he's a horrible shot.
He's a horrible shot. I thought he got a horseshoe up his ass somehow.
And he was shooting with his left hand.
Yeah, because he was all broken and shot. Because Liberty Valance had already beaten up the newspaper guy and left him for dead.
I liked him.
I know, I liked him as well. He was just wasted all the time.
Constantly.
But I have a question, because at the beginning of the movie, Ransom Stoddard agrees to give an interview to the newspaper specifically because the editor of the newspaper once fired him, but that never happened.
No, and I kept waiting for every single time that Peabody was there. I'm like, well, when's he going to get fired? Well, he's dead now. But he wasn't dead.
He never got fired.
They lied.
They lied. I think continuity error. They probably forgot to include something where he was like, no, I shouldn't leave, because I work here. And then he was probably like, all right, then you're fired. Go follow your dream.
Yeah,
or something like
probably,
that.
It got left on the cutting room floor somewhere.
Yeah, but, whatever. But I like the little nuggets that they leave in movies, like Liberty Valance plays the dead man's hand in poker right before he goes out to fight against, which is aces and eights, for those of you who don't play poker. That's traditionally called the dead man's hand.
Wow.
I don't remember who it was that originally got killed after they had aces and eights, but Liberty Valance did. So there you go.
Well, I'm impressed. Very nice.
Poker people know that.
Right.
But can we take a moment and appreciate how well John Wayne acts when drunk?
That was the best part of that was the best part for him in the entire thing.
I think that John Ford makes him do that regularly because he's so good at it.
That was when he was drunk. I was like, finally.
I know. He's like, he can act. John Wayne is excellent at acting as if he's drunk.
Yeah.
It's
and
almost
lighting
like when
cigarettes.
He's great at lighting cigarettes. I believe it when he's lighting cigarettes. But I mean, I think that he was better in this movie than he normally is in movies. But like, I think he's always better in John Ford movies. But I think that what I like a lot about John Ford movies specifically, especially with his westerns, is that they're always more than just a western, because so many of the westerns back then were like spaghetti western, shoot 'em up, bleep, bloop, bloop, same movie over and over and over again. But his movies were always more about like the characters, and they always had something deeper going on, usually having something to do with like a character's internal battle with morality. And they often have like inner demons that they usually have to make a choice at some point that will affect the rest of their lives.
And this one definitely follows that pattern.
Totally,
I mean, you have Rance's moral dilemma, where he finally realizes that he's going to have to live life in this way. He's going to have to defend himself in a way that is appropriate for the time and place. You've got the unrequited love aspect. You've got the competition between the males, which Rance doesn't really. He isn't really participating in that.
No, he's like, no, absolutely, she's yours.
She's yours. She's your girl, man. That's cool.
Everybody knows that. It's cool. I'm cool with that.
That's awesome. I did want to bring up something that really made it difficult for me because I got hung up on it, and it kept jabbing at me. Age-appropriate casting. So, yes. Okay, so at the beginning, when Rance is starting to tell his tale, he begins with, "I was fresh out of law school."
Yes, which means like 22.
Right. So unless Rance went to law school starting at 35, there's no way. You know, he's just this 40-year-old dude.
They were both in their 50s when they made this movie.
I was just like, you know, the only difference between elder statesman Rance and young idealistic, fresh out of law school Rance was his hair was a different color, and that was it.
Yes.
So between Rance and then how they made Pompey age was just slap this.
Yeah, they just like put a bald cap on him.
I know. Well, he was already bald. They just like
that's right. They added like the
strip of hair around the back. And then I don't know if you caught this. They made two different references to. Do you remember that guy when they were at the convention, the statehood convention? Mm-hmm. The guy who kept eating the lollipops.
Yeah.
Okay, so. When they went into when they had the school, that guy comes in, he's got his fishing pole, and somebody else says, "Oh, I caught him down at the thing fishing, and he knows he should be in school." That guy was 50 if he was a day, maybe
definitely.
older. And then another time when they were at the bar, John Wayne, he was sitting up at the bar, and John Wayne smacked him in the back of the head and said, "Get out of here! You're not old enough to be in the bar."
I know, and you're like, "What?" He's like 33 at least.
Can no one see?
Well, they said that like because John Ford wanted John Wayne to be in it so badly, then they had to hire somebody that was as old as John Wayne to play Rance. And someone said, I don't know if this is actually true, but in one of the trivia things that I saw, that one of the reasons that they shot it in black and white instead of Technicolor was to hide the age problems. Because it wouldn't be as obvious.
They were pretty freaking obvious.
It was pretty freaking obvious. But, whatever.
It's fine. Also,
yeah, that was very distracting.
Yeah, good. I'm glad that it wasn't just me.
No,
the other thing I wanted to point out was that Hallie was a total fucking bitch.
Yeah.
What an asshole. You know what? If you're going to continue to yell at me, fuck you.
Yeah. She was a strong, independent pioneer woman. And she took no shit.
She was an asshat.
Yeah, she was kind of an asshat.
I didn't like her.
Not as much of an asshat as Liberty Valance.
Oh, I was going to say, is Neely O'Hara?
Yeah, she's definitely better than Neely.
Definitely. She had her dolls.
Yeah, she had her dolls. I would rather be stuck in an alley with Hallie over Neely any day.
Absolutely.
But also, it's kind of like with the morality aspect, because, okay, Ransom Stoddard bases his entire career on the fame that he gets for shooting Liberty Valance. And he's not okay with doing that until John Wayne tells him, "But you didn't shoot him, I did." And then he's like, "Oh, okay, I'm going to go be a senator or something."
Well, but even then, I still think, I think he was still very conflicted, and I think that really showed in the last scene.
Yeah.
You know, where
you're spending your whole life there, and then you're like, and I think that Hallie never really got over it either, because, you know, she still always loved Tom.
Just not in the way that...
Yeah, I mean, she always respected him, and... You know, I don't think that either of them were ever really comfortable with how they got there. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if he really made the right choice to go into it.
But I think that he did, because he was such an honorable guy who cared about, you know, the farmers and the homesteaders and things like that. By using that fame, like John Wayne told him to do, I'm sure that he went to Congress, and you know they said he was governor a couple of times, so he did a lot of good, right? And I imagine that eventually, for the most part, I'm gonna guess that it wasn't that the whole Liberty Valance thing wasn't an issue once he got to where he was politically, but then, you know, coming back, then that was probably, you know, one of the first times that he had to deal with that, or that either of them had to deal with that, so it's probably a little extra.
And extra angst in there, little angst twist.
And then having to deal with Tom's death all at the same time, you know,
And he must have become like a hermit after that, because nobody in the town had any idea who Tom Donovan was. And he used to be like the guy.
He was the man.
The man. And who
The
knows
man.
what happened to him because he obviously didn't live there anymore.
Well, I think. Well, yeah, that's right because he never fixed it. That they had said that he never fixed stuff
So he
when he
must have
burned
just
up his
moved
stuff.
off to live wherever and just was depressed for the rest of his life, which is really sad.
And a really long life.
And a really long life. A
Yeah.
really long life of sadness. Thanks, John Ford.
God.
Ah. Well, we'll watch The Quiet Man sometime. I made
Okay.
Kate watch it. She didn't love it. But maybe you'll love it.
I might. You never know.
You probably won't like it because it's still John Wayne.
Well, we can watch it
Catherine
together. If we can find it on YouTube,
I
we
guarantee
can watch it together.
We can watch it together. But I mean, Catherine O'Hara's in it. No,
I
not
love
Catherine
her.
O'Hara. Maureen O'Hara.
Yeah, but I love Catherine O'Hara too.
I love Catherine O'Hara too, but Maureen O'Hara's in it, and that was the start of me absolutely loving redheaded actresses.
Yeah, and I may have seen that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, her and John Wayne were like BFFs till the end of their days.
Well, she's still around.
Yeah, but till the end of his days.
Oh.
He died of like lung cancer, didn't he? Because he smoked like 18 cigarettes an hour.
Well, he had to master the lighting of the.
Yeah. Like, if there's a man who can light a cigarette off of a shoe, it's John Wayne.
Or off of his face.
Or off of his face, his stubble. It always reminds me of the Birdcage when like he's trying to walk manly, and he's like walking like John Wayne, and he was like, wow, I never realized John Wayne walked like that, and it's totally true. John Wayne walks totally gay, but that's okay.
There you go.
Yeah, but let's move on to my favorite of our movies, Taxi Driver from 1976. Where a mentally unstable Vietnam War veteran works as a nighttime taxi driver in New York City, where the perceived decadence and sleaze feeds his urge for violent action, attempting to save a pre-adolescent prostitute as a little sidebar.
Yes.
We're watching a man go crazy,
Yeah.
and also he wants to save this little girl.
Yeah. I'm gonna actually need to watch this one again because I went into it with no expectations at all.
Me either. I didn't even know what it was about, really, aside from Jodie Foster was in it.
And I'm still not sure how I feel about it. You know, I want to watch it again now that I've seen it once. I want to watch it again and really try to connect more with Travis and get into his head more.
I thought it was really, really, really good, just because it was a really good depiction of like someone unraveling, or someone who's already like, who likely has, DK Linda says, it's a comedy. It's totally a comedy. Thank you, DK.
Totally.
But yeah, you're watching someone who you already know from the very onset has problems. He can't sleep. He works 12 to 16 hours a day and is miserable, basically. And you already know that he's like one rejection away from murdering people, basically.
I'm assuming he's a Vietnam vet. He was in the Marines.
Yes. You know he's got PTSD out the wazoo, and he just doesn't look good. And he keeps a journal, so you're kind of like watching how it happens from his own narrative the whole time, which is really good. It really helped me get into himself and kind of be really creepily intimate with his unraveling.
It was really a great device because you can, you're in his head, yet you're still standing outside watching, him and the Sybil Shepherd character and with Al Brooks.
Yeah.
Is that his name?
Brooks. He was in that movie.
Yeah, I think his name is Al Brooks. But anyway, so you get to see other people reacting to him, and yeah, I mean, you get a nice full picture. Now there is one thing that I wish that I could unsee. I mean, there were some really graphic things that I wasn't quite expecting to be that graphic, but the one thing that I wish that I could unsee is Harvey Keitel with long hair.
He was so creepy looking. Like, so creepy.
I don't ever want to see Harvey Keitel with long hair ever again.
No,
I was okay with seeing him completely naked in the piano, but
and he was kind of like a hippie, He was like a hippie pimp, which was really weird because Harvey Keitel is gangster. Like, I see Harvey Keitel, he is a gangster. He
should only ever have like gangster haircuts. That's it.
But I mean, he was really good in this, and that scene where he's dancing with Jodie Foster, and it's this weirdly intimate scene where he's talking about how much he loves her, and they're so lucky to have each other's love, and it's really weird. But that whole thing was ad-libbed by Harvey Keitel. Yeah. So we had that scene that was ad-libbed, and we had the scene of you talking to me. Like, the script originally just said, Travis looks in the mirror, and then he just went with it.
That was awesome.
Awesome, because that was the most powerful part, because that's when you know, like, whoa, no, he's cracking. Like, he's snapped, and things are starting to go really, really weird.
Yeah. Here we've got Cheryl Hansen. Hi, Cheryl.
Hi, Cheryl.
Says, I have a wonky connection. You both are constantly updating. Sorry. I'm enjoying your conversation. Good. For what you can grab of it.
Well, you'll be able to watch it after, and I promise it won't be wonky.
Yeah.
Afterwards.
Or it will
nice
be.
and smooth. You never know. It might be wonky. This might be a disaster.
It might be.
Yeah, but I mean, it's really cool because you can watch him kind of get worse and worse, and like he starts getting dark circles under his eyes. He gets really pale. He starts working out maniacally, still barely sleeping, watching a ton of porn. Yeah, he was in great shape for being psychotic.
And it was really, I think, one of the things about seeing actors that you've watched for decades, and they're like superstar powerhouse actors like Robert De Niro. To see him so young,
I know,
and he was just like a baby, but it was still really difficult for me to separate him from like the Godfather movie, I mean, it was hard for me to take a step and go, okay, no, this is.
You're like, no, separate. This is separate character.
Yeah, he's a young dude.
Drop off all your preconceived notions.
Yeah, but he was such a cutie.
He was a cutie, but he was really, really good in this.
Yeah.
I believe that he was crazy.
When he was working with the guns.
With the gun thing, because he constructed this thing with this gun to shoot out so that he could, murder people on the sly. Just,
that was during the whole "you talking to me?" You talking? Yeah. Boom.
Yeah. Which was terrifying. And I mean, he starts talking about how she's just like all the others. Because he gets rejected by Sybil Shepherd, and this is where he starts going bad.
And but even right before that, when he takes her out, first of all, the way that he approaches her,
is very in your face.
That was kind of like. But then after she agrees to go out with him, and he takes her to a porn.
Yeah, it was a Masters
theater.
and Johnson sex movie. Which, if you watch the TV show Masters and Johnson, they study sex, basically, and so I think it was almost like an instructional video.
No, I don't think so. They used to have porn theaters. They used to have them here in Milwaukee, too.
But instead it was a Masters and Johnson one. And they studied sex, yeah. I'm going to have to go back and look at it. Yeah. But I mean, it was all sex. It was like an orgy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The one scene that they showed
why would you
was a serious orgy.
A girl you just met would want to go out and see that?
A young woman who is working for, who I'm assuming... I mean, he sounded Democratic, but everything else about it kind of led me to believe that he was a Republican. I mean, regardless, this is
I don't think he was
professional.
Anything. I think he was just crazy.
And so he takes her to this porn movie, and he's like, "Oh, what? I thought we'd go to a movie." He doesn't think that there's anything wrong with it. He is so socially inept.
Yeah.
He doesn't get it. Well, why are you?
He has no idea why she would have a problem with that. Why won't you answer my calls? You're like, really?
Yeah, he had no clue.
It's bad because he doesn't get any sort of which means he's making all of this stuff in his head turn into things, which is
And
so
he doesn't.
dangerous.
Yes, he has nobody else that he talks to except for the other cabbies, and he's not talking to them about any of the stuff that's going on in his head.
No, they're talking to him, and he's just like there.
Yeah.
And you can look at his eyes, and his eyes are almost like dead for most of the movie.
Yeah. I don't know if we should. I don't know if we should give away the end though, because I was shocked.
I know, because the ending was great.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
I was surprised.
Yeah. Well, there's
so we
two
won't give
parts.
It away. Yeah.
Huh?
We won't.
Do you want to? Okay.
No.
So, well, there are two parts that we won't give away. One is like the big climaxy thing.
Yeah.
Which I sat there like this.
I was like, this is happening. This is happening.
Oh, hey.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the ending after that.
Yes.
Which was like, what?
Which I was not expecting. I was expecting it to end.
Well, I was watching it on Netflix, and I'm trying to finish it up before I take my kid to his guitar lessons, and I'm like, it gets to the point where I think it's over, and I look at the time and I say, well, there's still 8 minutes left. They can't do credits for that long.
Yeah.
So I had to put it away, and then I picked it up again when I got home a couple hours later, and I'm watching. I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
there were a lot of people that speculated that second part was really like a delusion, and that didn't actually happen, which would make sense. I kind of
hope so.
But that's not the case, because then Martin Scorsese said no, that did actually happen.
Oh.
But he's not cured. He's not cured at all. He said next time it's going to be worse.
He was a creepy fucker, boy.
Creepy dude, and like when he finally like shaved his head, and like you're like.
I mean, I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming because
it's in the
posters and stuff.
Yeah, you know it's happening. But I mean, what's even creepier I've found is that I learned that Paul Schrader, who wrote the script, he wrote it in 5 days, and it was kind of autobiographical about him, because he had a nervous breakdown while living in Los Angeles. He was fired from the American Film Institute. He basically didn't have any friends, was in the midst of a divorce, rejected by a girlfriend. He was squatting in his ex-girlfriend's apartment while she was away, and he literally didn't talk to anyone for many weeks, went to porno theaters, developed an obsession with guns. He was working all the time as like a delivery place for like chicken restaurant. Mm-hmm. So like he was basically Travis, which is kind of terrifying. So it's almost terrifying. Like he took that and then said, "Whoa, what if this had turned into like the extreme? Like what if I just didn't have a bad time? What if this kept continuing until the ultimate conclusion and then made this movie out of it?"
Wow.
It was creepy to me.
If you want to do it, you should do, because I always have suggestions for shows for you to do.
Yes.
I would love to see you talk about The Wall.
Oh, I've never seen The Wall. Don't look at me like that. I'll add this on the thing.
And from what I understand, it really is. It's Roger Waters, his breakdown. Mm-hmm. And it's a fantastic, fantastic movie. And if you watch it while you're stoned, it's even better.
Oh wow!
But it's really incredible.
Don't listen to that, Mom.
Yeah, the animation is just incredible. I mean, seriously, just incredible.
We should do. I mean, that would, because I mean, it's kind of a rock opera, really. Mm-hmm. So I mean, we could do that we always talked about doing the modern musicals.
Yeah. I mean, it's so good. It really is. It's so good.
But everybody and their mom was turned down for, like, every woman famous actress who later became famous, they all auditioned for this movie. Meryl Streep turned down the role of Betsy, like Susan Sarandon, the Kim Basinger, like all these.
Really?
She tried out for one role. I don't remember which one. But like every female actress that we now know, and Gina Davis tried to be the young Jodie Foster's role. She wanted that role.
She rocked that role. She did a great
she was
job
amazing. I mean, she has a small part. It's a very important part.
Very important. It really
But,
shows his humanity,
yeah, because he's not
yeah.
he's not a completely black and white character. He
Mhm.
has this sense of honor that's really specific to himself. Like he wants to get rid of all the trash, but he doesn't see her as trash, even though she's a prostitute
No,
working on the
she's a
streets.
victim of the
Yeah,
trash.
she's a victim of the trash, which is
He needs
interesting
to
because
save her.
he's able to to differentiate that. Whereas
Mhm.
before that, he kind of sounds like, no, everybody's crap. I hate everyone.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he sees her, and he sees her as like this shining beacon of, I can save this one.
Yeah, when he's driving the political candidate, and he starts going off about the scum in this city, and it just need to come in and clear all the shit out, just clear it all out. I mean, you really that he's got a problem with the immorality and the evil in the city, in his city, and he really, I mean, it's very clear that he wants to save Iris from this, and
He really does.
and I'm so happy that he didn't sleep with her or anything like that.
I know. I was
Martin
worried that was
Scorsese's-
going there.
Yeah, no, I didn't think that he
Yeah.
would, and I was glad that he didn't. Martin Scorsese's cameo in this,
Yeah.
he was a creepy fucker.
He was good in that. Like
Very good.
It was kind of an interesting cameo, and I think he was only a cameo in there because the actor that was supposed to do it bagged out of it.
Really?
So then he did it, but it was really interesting because it was almost like kismet that he ended up taking that cab and talking about how he wanted to murder his wife for cheating on him. And it was like, it's perfect that he got Travis's cab, because Travis then, it's like another little nugget that he puts in his brain, and he's like, oh yeah, I could murder someone for that.
Exactly, and I think that was a really important scene. It was another step in his devolution.
Yes, devolution.
DK's got a comment. Very cool info. I didn't know about the several scenes that were ad-libbed, and the info about the writer. That's awesome. Yeah, that is really cool about that author, because it also shows just how close people really do get.
And how easy it is. I mean, people always assume that, like, people that do bad things are bad people, and they've always been bad people. But, like 99.9% of the people are not born with some weird inherent thing that's going to make them crack someday. Like, most people have, like, one thing that goes wrong, and then a little bit later another thing goes wrong, and then another thing goes wrong, and then it just all leads up to, like, devastation, and then that's it.
Yeah.
It is, at some point they might hit something that, like, final straw, this is going to put me over the edge. But most people, ride that edge of, like, oh man, it could go bad, but you can pull yourself back from it still. But some people can't pull themselves back from that for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, so
Travis can't.
No, he could not. So should we rate these?
Definitely. I already know what I'm ranking. This is like the easiest ranking I've ever done.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Taxi Driver number 1.
Yes.
Liberty Valance number 2.
Yes.
Valley of the Dolls number 10.
Yes. Citizen Kane number 11.
Number 11. We might have to add this to Citizen Kane.
I think so.
Might be tied with Citizen Kane.
I think so. I do.
Which I didn't mention it before, but what's his name from Citizen Kane?
Orson Welles?
Orson Welles, his favorite director. Somebody asked him to rank his top 3 directors, and he said John Ford, John Ford, and John Ford.
That's awesome. It was a good movie. I think the thing that puts Valley of the Dolls ahead of Citizen Kane was that it was so campy that there were so many things that you could just laugh at and make fun of. Whereas in Citizen Kane, there was some, but not nearly to that degree. So Valley of the Dolls 10, Citizen Kane 12, 13?
Yeah, I'd go with that.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we're in agreement here.
Yay.
Well done. Yes, but thank you to Cheryl and DK for joining in and commenting. Should we offer them something special, Cheri?
We certainly can.
Yeah. Why don't you do that one? Do it.
Okay.
Because we should give somebody a shot glass.
We should. I just don't know how to pick who.
How do we pick one?
Um.
We could flip a coin.
Yeah. Flip a coin.
Or I could just pop the money. We can give them both shot glasses.
Oh, we've got enough money. Okay,
let's do that.
We got some donations and things. Is anybody else on the line? Anybody else want to get a last second?
Nobody else commented. You could get a shot glass out of this situation.
Shot glasses for everybody.
Glasses for everybody. But anybody that commented today, and also if you comment, so DK and Cheryl, you're both in the drawing for a free movie, also in addition to your shot glasses. But you just get extra special presents just for showing up and being awesome.
Just for being here. So do me a favor, if you want a shot glass, and we'd be very happy to send you one, shoot me an email with your mailing information, and I will. Oh, I'm going to give you one too. DK, unless you don't want my damn shot glass, that's okay.
Oh, DK says give it to Cheryl. Okay. You're so nice, DK. You can have one if you want it, though.
You can.
Yeah.
We got some donations and did some stuff, so we've got a little bit of money. So send me your email address, send me your mailing address, and I will order them from Cafe Press and have them sent to you, and send that to rev@cocktailhour.us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Thank you. So make sure, but at this, I learned how to do something, and we're going to add little trailers because Google Plus will not let you share. It will not let you share YouTube videos so that we can show them during the live on-air hangout. It's like against some type of something, copyright, blah, blah, even though it's on YouTube. But I'm going to add links to the different movies that we watched today, and so whenever we talk about them, a little trailer will pop up like here, a link to I'm going to have to make sure I put them right there when I do it. So you guys can watch the trailers if you feel like it. See how bad. The trailer for Valley of the Dolls lets you know how bad it is.
I didn't watch the trailer. I didn't watch any of the trailers.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
It gets a good indication.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but thank you for joining me, Cheri. I had a great time as always. I love having shows with you.
Yes, it's been a while. And it's been a long time since we did one by ourselves. So.
I know, it's been way too long. We need to do that again.
So next time you're doing what? You're doing one with Georgia and Melissa.
With Georgia and Melissa. So we're going to be talking about Dangerous Beauty, Frances Ha, and Mystic Pizza.
Awesome.
Because all of those they're very tied to the town that they're filmed in.
It's a great concept.
Yeah, that's Melissa's choice. We made her choose a choice. So thank you, Melissa.
She's smart.
She is smart. She's good at that stuff.
Yeah.
She makes us look like idiots.
In August, you're all going to make me look like an idiot.
Is that when we scheduled it for?
Yeah, for my birthday.
Show? Yeah, it's right for your birthday show. Yeah, we're going to be talking about the 80s movies that Cheri has never seen, which is basically 100% of the 80s movies.
That would be almost all of the 80s.
Yeah. So if you guys have a suggestion for that show, let us know in the comments. Also, let us know how you feel about the live air hangout option that we've been doing. Do you want more of these shows? Do you want to stick with the regular audio podcasts? Let us know what you think, and because we're open for anything basically.
Yeah, we're podcasting whores.
We're podcast whores.
Whores.
Yeah. But thank you guys all for listening and paying attention, and thank you, Cheri.
You're welcome. Goodbye.
Bye.